Happy Saturday, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me on my page today. I'm not coming on All Things Possible. Something is going on with the groups, I guess. I'm not able to post on there like directly on the page or bring a live, but today is a day of spontaneousness. And so my friend Gage reached out to me, and I've been trying to have him come on for a while. So we didn't have a flyer or anything set for this live. This is just a spontaneous live. If you get able to catch it right now, say hello in the comments. If you catch this later, you press replay. It'll pop up if we talk about something that inspires someone. They'll be able to find the video. So thank you guys for joining me. I'm going to wait a few moments and see Gage jump on. So Gage, I've met, I can't even say, I know it's more than 4 or 5 years. It's been maybe 7, 8 years now since I've known Gage. There he goes. Okay. Well, I'm not able to pull you up yet. What? You can share your broadcast now. Okay. That's probably what's happening. They're doing some updates. And so, very cool. All right. So Gage, in a few moments, it'll pop up and then I'll be able to add you. If not, like I said, there's a little, it's on this side of my camera, a little person in a frame. If you click on it, it'll say request to go on camera. And then I'll be able to pull you up on here. For you guys who are jumping on, thank you so much. We're just doing a spontaneous live with my friend Gage. He is up in Mount Shasta. Hope I said that right. And we met, like I was saying, years ago. And he was one of the first person when we clicked, was just like, my soul knows you. He's like, my soul knows you. We're like, let's talk. And it's been, ago since then. He was one of the first persons that I spoke with about getting together and having, okay, here we go. Having a retreat. We haven't seen each other or talked to each other in years now. I feel like it's been, all right, so it's adding. We're both undergoing some spiritual surgery, transformation. There you go. Okay, let's wait and see. Can you see me? Can you hear me, Gage? Can you hear me? You're kind of frozen for me. Yeah? Let's see. Let me try. Okay. I kind of see you moving around now, so you're not frozen. Can you see me? You're not hearing me?
I am hearing you. I've got an echo.
Okay, yeah. Let's see. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing. I know sometimes it does that with other people, or it's done it with me before too, but. Can you hear me now? 1, 2, 3.
Time ever doing this on the phone. I've never done it on the phone. Setup's not set up for it.
Okay. Oh, you're perfect now, though. I'm hearing you good and seeing you good. Same? No.
Well, yeah, but I'm hearing you like 3 times.
You're hearing, and you have your headphones on, right?
Oh no, I can't. The phone.
With that. Okay.
I would have to be like this to do headphones.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'm hearing you good. If you guys, somebody says hello. What a treat to see you, Susan. If you guys can comment and let us know if you're hearing any echoes. I'm not hearing any echoes, but I know that sometimes it does that. If you want to jump off and try to come back on again, I can take you off and then try to bring you back on.
Yes, let's try that because I switched the internet
okay.
After I came on.
Let's do that. Okay, I'm going to take you off and add you back on.
Okay.
All right, guys, stay tuned. Thank you so much for joining me. This is a spontaneous live. We are attempting to go live with Gage. Oh, no. Okay. Bring them on camera. All right, here we go. What can't bring? Okay, here it goes. He's requested. Oh, don't you love Facebook Live? All bloopers, all everything is just out there. All right. Okay, how about now?
Okay.
Yes?
Oh, yes, so much better.
So much better. Okay, good. Oh my goodness. The last time I see you, first of all, I want to say your hair was not that long. You look just like a wizard. I love it so much. How are you doing?
We're doing pretty well. I'm doing pretty well. It's nice and beautiful outside. You can see the fall colors.
Yes. Yeah. Where are you? I was telling people that you're in Mount Shasta. Did I pronounce it right?
Yeah, you had that correct. Mount Shasta. It's a mountain. It's a little mountain town as well. We live about 5 to 7 minutes outside of the main town. It's very nice.
Yeah, I remember when you were getting the place and all of that was taking place. I know since then you've gone through like a lot of transformation. I think a lot of us have. I've seen your work even change and transform as well of what you're doing. I know you do a lot more channeling now. Can you explain to people what channeling is a little bit? Well, first introduce yourself, right?
Okay.
Tell us who you are, and then we can go into that.
Okay, thanks. So my name's Gage Gorman, and I know Prudence earlier was trying to figure out how long we knew each other. I was hearing you.
Yeah.
And it would be at least 6 years, just based on the amount of time we've been here. Because we started talking back when we still lived in Redondo.
Yes.
And we were both just kind of starting out on our journey of sharing with others. And I think you still have a page on our website, buried in the website somewhere.
I do. It's on my bio still too. Yes.
Yes. And and my husband Casey, we have our dog Zachy. We incorporate him into everything we're doing too.
I love Casey too.
And we were living in Redondo. We were starting to be able to see the things that were coming ahead that we're in now. And we lived at the beach, but we lived in an apartment, and it was, had people very close, and we knew that we were going to need space. We knew as we were evolving and growing, we went through and was discovering deeper ourselves, which I think all of us are doing at varying levels from wherever we came on this planet and started to wherever we're going. And for each, it's different. Everyone's on a unique path. For us, our path was calling more to nature, more and more to nature, more connecting with, sometimes if we're looking at history or other timelines, I'll refer to like the Lemurian timeline. It's much more of a drawing to us, and that's what brought us to Mount Shasta. We originally were going to, we started out by doing it with a retreat center. So we ended up purchasing a place that now feels a little too big. But at the time we were doing a retreat center. We were having people coming. That turned out to be a lot more work than we had bargained for. Yeah. It's a lot to do the channeling, do the helping, do the assisting, and then also be the maid, be the cook, clean. And you'd be surprised how messy, and even people on their spiritual paths feel quite entitled to maid service and such like that. And it became a bit too much. So we shifted everything to have it be more of the people that were coming on property. We formed it into a club. We call it the Wizards Club now. And it's kind of like a country club or a private club. People who are members, they have access to the property and can stay on the property or visit the property if they're in town and such like that. Property has a beautiful energy to it that we utilize when we're in session with people. But most of what we do now is remote, online, Zoom conference calls, group calls, and one-on-ones.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, that's what I've noticed have transitioned for you as well. It went more, because I know at the beginning you were having people come on there on the property, but I think too with last year everything's switching. Everything seems to be more, I want to say easier, but flows a little bit differently too, and a little bit easier online as well too. Now we have the access to use our internet, and we can access people all over the world, right? Because I know that you went into like sacred geometry, and that kind of every step and every process kind of brought out a different aspect of spirituality within it. But then that brought you into channeling also too, correct? Or how did that come about?
Correct. Oh, and I did forget to answer your question on channeling. So, to answer what channeling is, and I'll say in my truth, in my understanding, because I feel a lot of people have different comprehensions and understanding of what channeling is.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, channeling is connecting
Mm-hmm.
with vibration through time of a version of myself. And in that belief and understanding, I believe every single one of us is a version of myself, or
Mm-hmm.
I'm a version of yourself,
Yes.
as I described that. And that what channeling is moving outside of a vibration of what I am here
Mm-hmm.
into a vibration that is non-physical or through time.
Mm-hmm.
And then a channeler can then identify what that vibration is. Meaning that some people say, I'm channeling with a Palladian collective, or Esther Hicks says she's channeling Abraham
Mm-hmm.
Hicks, or Bashar, if someone's heard
Yeah.
of them. Like they'll assign a name or an identity to what they're channeling. Whereas if you've ever heard of like Michaela Sheldon, she's someone who will channel multiple different types of energies and vibrations, and that's similar to myself.
Okay.
So I will channel, I can see within my mind, brain,
Mm-hmm.
the matrix, and can go in and access and choose the points of light or timelines or dominant vibration of whoever I'm interacting with or the group I'm interacting with, to tune in like a radio. The brain is like a radio.
Mm-hmm.
And to tune into that station with consciousness, with cognition. I'm aware of what station I am tuning into. So I have changed the channel, and
Yeah.
I have now channeled into a direct station that I'm aware of.
Okay.
I feel many people move throughout their day and don't even, they're
Realize
not
it.
cognizant of it.
Yes.
But everybody has this ability
Yes.
that is human and that has a brain
Yeah.
to do this. And it's, and I will add too, do feel there are channels where also the human, the person, the soul that's incarnated in this body, this vessel, will step aside and sit in the astral realm. And if that's ever happened with you, this is where you will actually see your body from you being outside of it.
Oh.
And then a channel will come in and fully represent itself. I do believe with Daryl Bashar is a
Yeah.
full move-in channel. So that would be, so Daryl would be out here,
Yes.
either side, depending
Yeah.
upon what he
Yeah.
chooses. And so I rarely do channeling like that. It's
Okay.
probably less than 1% of the time that I'll have a channel like that come through. My channeling has also evolved in that I call it now the table. When I go in, I have formed like my Knights of the Round Table that I choose to dominantly work with, or
Mm-hmm.
I'll say predominantly work with. And so I am channeling that collective, and that is, it's versions of me, like I say in the beginning, through time,
Mm-hmm.
but that includes what some people may say are like extraterrestrials or
Beyond.
future,
Yeah.
past, yes,
Yeah.
things like that that are at the table,
Yeah.
and they have different perspectives of what we're looking at.
Yeah.
Like we're in the maze, we can't see
Yes.
until we zoom up and out to be
Yes.
able to see more.
The whole map, kind of bird's
Mm-hmm.
eye view, I call it too. Yeah, the bird's eye
Yes,
view of
yep,
it.
bird's eye view.
Bob Proctor talks about that actually. I think in one of his videos I seen, I remember the first time I heard about it, and it might have been Neville Goddard also, where they said that you can have that same table like you said, and you can choose people whether they are alive or they have transitioned from this show, right?
Mm-hmm.
And have them
Mm-hmm.
sit at your table so you can have this council meeting with them. And he said he went into meditative state all the time doing that. And that's
Mm-hmm.
how he got ideas about his business, about
Mm-hmm.
different things it depends on who you channeled into. So I know I've also experimented a little bit with that, and I do One of the things that's so funny with human beings for me is that we have the answers and we know how to do these things, but we don't access it on a consistent basis, that it becomes habitual to us so that we can use it daily. But then we wonder how other people are doing it too. And so
Mm-hmm.
what I realized that is that if you want to cultivate this gift within yourself too, it's something that you have to do consistently every day and kind of be dedicated to your own soul so that you can access the same type of information as well too, right? Would you agree that it's consistency or
I agree with most of that.
yeah.
I would say my only varying difference for me would be I wouldn't be so 100% strong on like the everyday.
Okay. Yeah.
I would say I definitely say there's discipline. I sometimes I've stepped away from movies and TV recently fully, but to use an example from that would be like Karate Kid, wax on, wax off,
Yes.
Peaceful Warrior, where he's sitting on the car, or he goes on the hike if you've seen this or read the book,
Yeah.
and he's so excited about the destination he missed the whole hike.
Yeah.
And it really,
Wow.
I find, comes down to being present. And you may have a day where it doesn't align, or you have other joys or priorities that are in the now time to bring you to a place of being in that now time. Like us being here together today, like how
Yeah.
we thank you for so much of my day is booked and scheduled that that's why I asked if we could just wait until it flowed.
You're the only one I'm doing this for.
I appreciate it. Yeah. And I actually saw that we've been talking about it. She'd asked me in July to come on her show, and
Yeah.
I just said, I'm doing everything I can in my life to have less on my schedule,
Yeah.
and I
And
really
I
feel the flow with channel
yeah.
is I feel we just synced up. The
Yes.
flow with the channel is it's it's about flow. It's about the energy. It's about the inspiration of when it's coming and it's flowing in, that this conversation and who will be here live with us or who will watch this later, who
Mm-hmm.
it aligns for this marriage of energy.
I love that.
And it needed to be at the right time. And
Mm-hmm.
now is the right time.
Yeah.
And but coming back to what you were beautifully saying about being able to connect to the Knights of the Round Table or whatever people want to call them
Yes.
within connecting deeper to ourselves, which is, another way of saying what's going on there.
Yeah.
And it does take doing it. There are so many people, I've mentored so many people that have been to every workshop, have been doing workshops for 10 or 20 years, have went from guru to following to following. And that's the thing. If you're following anyone, you're not on your path
Yes.
because every one of us is unique. Every single one of us is unique. You can't follow anyone. Like the Wizards Club is not followers, those are
Yeah.
all masters. The
Oh, I
people that
love
we
that.
work with in one on ones, we teach you how to do what we're doing so
Oh,
that
I
we can
love
sit and do it
it.
together. It's not for me to sit and channel and give you answers. I might do that in the beginning for the
Yeah.
people who are doing the work to learn it, to
Mm-hmm.
help them believe that it's real. Because I also feel that for this to work, you have to believe. We're
Yes.
kind of going back to the kids' movies, right? You got to believe in yourself.
It is. Yeah.
And so much of society from the time that we are born, and I'll be careful here not to, got to remember we're on a Facebook Live. Um, so much of what we are exposed to and taught by the people that we are supposed to trust and love the most is deceiving us from the moment we're here. So there's so much for us that we have to peel the layers
Yes.
of what we have built and what I've come to resonate with saying the alter ego.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's also this misconception that people want to go out and get rid of the ego. And it's like, well, no, that's part of your identity. But there is an alter ego that is trapped in a place of society, we'll call it. And it's ready
Yeah.
to come out right
I love.
now.
I want to just add really quick too that what you just said. A beautiful analogy came to my head when you said about the onion peelers. I think
Mm-hmm.
teachers could be viewed as someone showing you how to use the knife to cut the onion so that you can start peeling it yourself, but then you have to do the peeling yourself. I feel like teachers are jump starters, right? So you
Yep.
don't know something, you go searching for it, you get yourself learning and engulfed in the learning, but then it becomes on you. A lot of people are scared to hear this and don't want to take that full responsibility, but you get to make your rules. You get to make up your own rules. You get to go as far with this as you want to, or hold it right in the confinement of whatever you're comfortable with. It's all up to you. And I think we're just getting to the space where we're being comfortable to allow people to be their space, and the people who are, it's kind of like I just rewatched What Dreams May Come. And when she was in her hell, something new showed up for me this time when I watched it. Was the reason that hell could even exist for her was because there are other people who was in the same entrapment throughout their lives. So that created this space for them to all experience this experience of hell and whatever. And there was different levels of that hell. And it was the same thing with the version of the beyond. Like they said, when you first got there, it's your creation of what it is you want. Your heaven is your creation of what it is you want. And I love that when I read that in Neil Donald Walsh's book, when he explained that, when God, when the entity and the force that is God explaining to Neil Donald Walsh was that we do get, like, I give the inspiration, but you get to create what you want from it, this force. And so all of us are different aspects of God experiencing ourselves here. I get that. And I get to be as magical as I want to with it.
Yeah. You are a fractal of God. I am a fractal of God. Everyone watching this is a fractal of God. And
absolutely,
it is unlimited.
Yes.
Unlimited.
Tell me some stuff that you've been doing. Like, I know the nature kind of, you go on hikes and different stuff like that. And how do you use the geometry shapes to help create that? Because I love the feeling of it. I don't completely understand it yet, but I feel a resonance with it. So I'd like to know a little bit more.
Just based on your question shows that you do understand it.
Yeah.
Because it is more felt than words express.
Okay.
Geometry is a language. The deeper you get into linguistics, or the deeper you get into like light language, you start to find it starts to move in shapes. It starts to move in numbers. You start to play even on the educational 3D realm of Einstein or Tesla. 3, 6, and 9, the power of the numbers, putting them together. So the sacred geometry is geometry that is prepared and made in a way, and it's interesting that I actually knew to grab
I love those.
some pieces today, and they're sitting right here next to me. So
look at that. Wow, that one feels true. Yeah.
And what they are is they're made by somebody who's being conscious of what they're doing. They're not made by a machine. I mean, they may have tools and stuff to like make them, but somebody's there. And what the geometry is doing, it's communication. Symbolism is in everything. It will be the downfall of the versions of us that we created to challenge us through this time. So help put that in perspective too when we talk about those that have brainwashed or done things to humanity. We, as gods, created that to challenge us to be stronger.
Oh my God, I love that you said that. You're one of the first persons I've heard said it in that way that I also agree with also.
Yes. Okay. And so the more that we own it, this is like bringing together everything we're talking about. The more that we own it, what's going on in the world, and stop playing victim and go in and follow the disciplines and connect to ourselves of who and what we are, that we are God. There is not this God outside of us that we are asking permission from because we're sinners. That is not true. We are perfect. Every single one of us is perfect. And we are here living energy. And when you learn to understand how energy works and remove the ignorance, which is shielded in entertainment and distraction and addiction. But when we can move through our addiction to being entertained and distracted, and then we can truly connect with ourselves and feel what's going on around us, then we can feel what feels good. We'll do more of that. And what feels bad, well, why does it feel bad? Go in and question it. Go in and work with it, but don't cast it out. This is where a lot of what's been taught in spirituality or even law of attraction. Ignore it? No, do not ignore it. It's there. It's part of you. That's the last thing you want to do. And next is, well, don't go into it. It's painful. No, you're going to need to go into it. Yes. It's yours. It's stored. You weren't able to handle it before, but you can handle it now.
Yes.
The more you have that discipline and you connect to that loving, channeling version of yourself, those versions of you through time and space, they will help you work through those places of darkness. And there's no judgment in darkness. Physicality requires light and dark. Let's bring it to computers. Equal. It's all computers.
Yeah.
These vessels are a machine that a soul, non-physical energy comes into. Ones and zeros. Ones and zeros. Dark and light. Yin and yang. It is required for a physical existence. So the dark's never going away. Yeah. But if you learn how it works, then you don't have to be a victim.
You make your own dance.
Yes. Yeah. And you do realize, coming back to what dreams may come, that you create your own hell. Hell only exists because people create it and believe in it. And then because more people believe in that same hell, it gets more strength to exist. Whereas if you change what you believe, that is what will exist. But you got to understand energy. And these help.
Yes.
These help with the wiring. So coming back to a computer or an engineer or, connecting with people in different fields so they can understand what we're talking about. It's wires and tubes. What's inside of your body? Wires and tubes. What happens the better technology you get when you look at it? Well, there's different layers. There's things we didn't see before. You want to see infrared? Well, you need infrared goggles, right? You got to get an MRI machine for them to see certain things. Well, as the technology is being made more available, to be more authentic with that, then the more people are being able to see. But the thing is, too, you don't need technology either. I could see it with my own eyes.
Yes,
well, my own eyes.
More people saying that.
Yes. We have technology actually weakens us because it makes us lazy. Do you remember your friends' phone numbers anymore, Prudence?
No.
When you were a kid and we were all chatting on the phone, did you know every single one of your friends' phone numbers?
Yep, by heart.
And that's changed because now you just press Gage Gorman.
Yeah.
Right? You don't see the number.
Really quick to tap on that too. It's so funny how we have become in this, like, I always call it the microwave stage. We want everything quick. Because even with meditation, is that Casey? Tell them I said hi.
Yeah, that was Prudence says hi. She totally knew by my head nod.
So even with meditation, even with spirituality, now we're trying to find this way to get into there quickly. Like, we want all these methods. There's all these different methods which do work, but I don't think. Okay, I want to watch how I say it, because you can use it. There are times where you need to get into there in an immediate space because of whatever's happening out here. But every time, if we're in an access just to enter it, to access into this meditative state, there's all these different techniques that people are using now. And I don't think, but again, we have the right to make our own worlds, that's the main purpose of learning these techniques, is to do it as quick as possible. Because I'm noticing now too, that's a trend on YouTube, that everybody wants to tell you the quickest way to get into the meditative state, because we know that when you're in that space, there is a creation, there's a peace, there's a flow of energy that we're all trying to access. However, I don't think that the information is meant for us to be as quick as we can. Who can get there the quickest? Who can get there the strongest? Who can know the most information? I think that's being misrepresented on the internet as well.
Yeah, I agree. May I add to that?
Yes.
And I feel as I add to this, it's coming from both of us, our collective selves, as I'm sharing. And that the yin and the yang, the both sides, the ones and the zeros, there's two competing energies that are existing. And one wants to, we invented the opposite reaction for this physicality to occur, darkness. And in that invention, though, because it has led the charge for so long, does that make sense?
Yes.
That it doesn't want to give up. It's leading the charge. But it also has access through time and space, and it knows everything that you're going to do and I'm going to do, especially if we plan it.
Right.
The only thing it doesn't know is what we decide to do in the now.
Oh.
And so.
Whoa, that was powerful. I never thought about it in that way.
And so
oh my God,
what
that's why it's so powerful
this,
to be in your now as well, too. Ooh,
and this is why, though, you are correct. I'm not coming away from the correctness and the speed thing.
Right.
It has been manipulated by the darkness, which is what the darkness does. That's why there is truth in so much of the dark. There is truth in religion, even though religion by design was meant to enslave humanity. Everything in our society has been meant to enslave humanity.
Yeah.
By that same darkness that we created, because it likes being in charge. And so, yes, there is a thing about speed, meaning that if something comes at us energetically, and there's so much, I feel you see it. I mean, I know when we talked more often years ago, we would talk about the things that we could see.
Yeah.
And so, you know, the energies that many are just now starting to see or haven't started seeing yet, but meaning that we can see things. I can see as far as into other realms and dimensions right here simultaneously going on that people walk by all the time. But we can also see the archonic energies moving around, or the angelic energies moving around.
Yeah.
And people's bands that fly out from them based on their sporadic emotions or whatever drugs that they're consuming. That all can be seen. Now, when there's something that's in that energy that's going to attack, being able to react quickly can be helpful. And so the technique of teaching the quickness is great.
Right.
But the marketing campaign, which is full of deceit and lies and neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, taught by many life coaches, is manipulation and deception and lying. And in that, it's that, yes, join this program and you're going to learn how to be a meditation master in 3 weeks with Guru Gama Mama. And you know what? Run.
Yeah.
Because the reality of this is, and I feel for everyone, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it, and you please share your raw opinion of what you think.
Okay.
This experience is raw and dirty and lovely and awful and wonderful and heartbreaking and heart fulfilling. And you will, at some point in time, through your experience of recognizing who and what you are and feeling what you have done through time and space, you will be on the ball on the floor crying. You will not want to be here. You will want to be here. You will not want to be here. You'll want to be here. You'll hate everyone. You'll love everyone. You'll hate yourself. You'll hate yourself deeply. You'll love yourself. You will love yourself deeply. And you're going to feel like you're going insane. And then you'll know you're sane.
Yeah.
And that's what the process is going to be like.
Yes. Yes, it is. I absolutely agree with that. I mean, you explained it to the T. There's nothing to take away. And in all of that, I think it's just what brings fullness and expansion with that it's just awareness of every stage, because every stage, even the down, the up, there's something to be experienced in that, that
Yes.
expands
Yes.
source, that expands the knowledge, the beingness of
That's
the
why we want to
source.
look at it. Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
And then know how to manage our system with it so we don't get consumed in it.
yeah,
We don't run away from it. We don't go to,
yeah,
once
yeah.
you, it's all over. That locks
It's like start
everything
over
up.
again. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And it's like, yeah, you're 3 hours in, and guess what? Take a breath, suck it up, because you're starting over. And
Wax
that's how,
on, wax
but,
off.
but you've learned, right? Yes, you're learning, like, exactly. Oh, okay, I'm gonna take my time, and I gotta stay chill. I
Yeah,
gotta remain the observer,
yes.
and I gotta go into these dark places. As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for I am the light.
Whew,
Yes.
that's
And
beautiful. Yeah,
we gotta remember, like it's not gonna get easier out here,
yeah, yes,
but we're the change. We have to change first for the other side, to respond, and it needs a speed of time
mm-hmm.
to catch up.
I love that. I love that. I love that reminder for us too. I love that. So people are you still having people being able to join in like your club, or is it exclusive now? How is that working for you? How does that work?
The club does have open membership, meaning that anyone can apply.
Okay.
So that membership's on our website. And then and really how it works is it's about authenticity, is what it really comes down to. Is
Yeah.
it's a person authentically on their journey. I've had to filter through a lot of people who wanted to come in to the Wizards Club, and
Yeah.
they were really wanting the members of the Wizards Club other exchange, or they're trying to promote something outside of the club.
Yes.
And so it's a membership about you. It isn't about, like, I mean, it can be about your business if you're talking about it from a growth perspective of yourself, but it's not a
Yeah.
recruiting place. Um, it's not a place to promote like someone's business. It's not a shared promotion. It's about you.
Yes.
And I bring that because a lot of the members they're other teachers, they're other coaches. Yes, there's people that are on their journey in other professions, but a lot of it is the people that are helping people. And it's
Yeah.
where they're coming to get their
Philip.
fill up, or to not have to be so much in a helping role, to be able to participate and play along, and a journey of an energy with someone they found they can trust the information, and they resonate with me and Casey, and the let's say the version of truth that we expose, and
Yeah.
the encouragement and support that we provide for each one's own individual exploration of truth, and the tools and the techniques of how to do that,
Yeah.
and we practice together. And so we teach it and we practice it. We have times where we get on and we'll have something in the Wizards Club where we just meditate. I talk for 2 minutes, and it's 30 minutes of all of us sitting there on camera together, but it's felt. So
Yes.
we dive into telepathy.
Oh, I love that.
We dive in to deeper than that, the feeling through space and time, being able to connect. And it's as if we're all in the same room.
I think Kale Smith said he went to one of your retreats before, and I've had him on.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting ready to come back on soon, too. We were just talking, and I was telling him one of the things that I love about when we're experiencing all these different things in life, it's not only the experience that's amazing, but being able to share it with people who identify with it also.
Yes.
That's almost as amazing as the experience itself. When I'm like, this and this happened, and you're like, oh my goodness, I know exactly what. And so we're creating this, like, oh, that is so amazing to me, to identify with other people too who are having
Mm-hmm.
these experiences. So I can see the value in being in a club like that too. And something
Yeah.
else you said too, is that a lot of teachers, we're always naturally, usually from birth, are like these teachers. And so when we step out now we have these platforms in social medias or in our communities or around the world, however you're doing it, there comes a space where you need to retreat to be a student again. And that's what it sounds like that you're doing, you know, so that feels good too, to just be in that mode to receive again, so that you, you know, you can do what it is you said you was coming here to do, which was share the message. So I love that you have a space for that, for other teachers to become students again.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we'll say, and I'll add to that, you know, we think of the Wizards Club, that part, it's more advanced as well.
Yeah.
It's for those who, I'm going to say, they're past their trauma, because there's a lot of things in there that can trigger people. Because we don't hold back. We go through space and time. We bend your mind.
Yeah.
And some people may think, oh, that's cool. And if you think that's cool, it's probably not a fit.
You haven't done it yet.
Yeah, it's not a fit for you, right? It's, and does that make sense when I say that? Without,
yeah.
Okay.
I just think it means too that they haven't fully grasped the wholeness of it. I mean, I think it's good that they think it's cool, because that's going to make you go diving into it. But when you get the taste of it and you start realizing it's inner work, it can be both beautiful and chaotic at the same time. Again,
Right.
It's finding the dance that, you know, that works.
And the people, and I find, thank you for adding that. That was very helpful. And that, because it was expressing so much more of how I wanted to express that.
Okay.
So yeah, no, that was enough actually.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So okay. So we'll keep it right there for now. If we feel inspired again, like I said, you're the only one I'm doing that for. I didn't make a flyer, make an announcement, and I know your schedule. I know your intentions. I know your work, I want to say. And so that's why I was willing to flow with you like this today. Yes. And I thank you. It worked out perfect. I happen to have been showered and had a little bit of eyeliner on. So I was like, yeah, sure.
Cool. Awesome. I'd like to add too, if I may, on the 31st, we're having an open like Hallows Eve. I posted a link for it on my Facebook today.
Okay.
So that will be like not as advanced as the Wizards Club, meaning like it's more open for anyone who would like to join that. Okay. And yeah, it's an exploration of Halloween.
It's online?
It's going to be online. It'll be on Zoom.
Okay.
And so like people do have to register for it. It does have a cost. It's $25.
Okay.
And it will have like meditation together. We're going to have sacred geometry on there, and we will be spinning some of the geometry.
Okay.
And we'll also go through and talk about Halloween and a lot of topics we talked about today, and it was specific to Halloween, of like its original intent, its shift by the darkness to make it different, how it's been pulling in more of, we'll say, the evil or the darker energies for all of our lifetimes, for us alive and for many years, but how we can shift that. And we're going to work during that time to actually shift it while we're together, and work with shifting the energy and bringing in a love energy versus an evil energy that in the past has been brought in. I do feel there's many people doing events on the 30th or the 31st or the 1st that are similar, about helping to shift the veil. It's like a veil, and it's the thinnest on Hallows Eve. Right. And for many years, we've been opening evil and dark archonic dimensions on that eve. And so this is something we're doing to get together to help make that shift. But you don't have to be part of this event to do that. I've shared enough information it's about love. Like, that's going to be, every day is important, but that's going to be a very important day to be focused on love and noticing, is it okay if I keep going, or you need to go?
No,
I just want to be,
okay.
Is that coming back to a topic we were talking about earlier, about our dedication to our soul journey, to sum it up, is that it's addictions, and knowing, starting to recognize that everything society has showed us is an addiction to keep us distracted from who and what we are, everything. So as we're moving through these holidays, but I really want to dress my kids up in spooky Halloween costumes. Well, what are you doing? What are you giving permission to with your energy? Do you really want that energy? On the thinnest veil of when we're pulling energy through, and it's the thinnest it's ever been because the veil's already thinner. Like, that's why there's so much going on energetically. But, to really be the change that we want to be.
Yeah.
And I feel everyone wants that change of a peaceful, loving, we don't have wars on the planet. We're not having to protect ourselves from being attacked or, scrapping for
Living
over
your own
pieces of
life.
shelter or having food, right? That's,
Freedom of
we're not here
expression.
for that. We're not here for that.
Yeah.
And that change is going to come when we stop participating in that system. And I know it's hard. That's part of.
I was gonna say one of the things I just actually spoke about you on one of my last lives last week. I had a chef on, and we were talking about eating healthy and stuff. And I said, have you ever heard of breatharians? And she said no. And I was like, I have a friend who, and so I brought you up. But I think the reason I brought that up to say what you just said too, I think is like being aware of it and then learning to go how to control it. I want to say in sense of your addictions can be super powerful too, right? And
Yes.
and we're not talking just about addictions with sex, food. It's everything. It's just so many different little ways. Even addiction to your own routine, addiction to certain type of forces that's around you or places that you go.
You got it.
Yeah. So learning that can be super powerful. And I just want to ask really quick too that you mentioned on the thinnest veil, and like, so some of these people who dress up in these scary outfits and stuff like that, would you say if they dressed up in angels would be better? Not necessarily.
Oh, yes. Thank you for adding that clarity.
Yeah.
Very helpful. Yes, I'm talking about the people that dress up as demons.
Yeah.
Or they're dressing up in a way of things that are not what they're wanting.
Okay, got it.
Right? But because what's happening is everything that you give your attention to is what you're wanting. If you say, I do not want something, you're going to get whatever follows that you do not want.
The yes world. It is a yes world. Yeah.
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 And humor has been greatly destroyed.
Yeah.
Greatly. I can't add to that. And so
enough.
people think that their sarcasm is funny. I mean, actually, if you look up the etymology of the word funny, it's to deceit, to mislead, trickery, right? It's a trick. I'm going to play a trick on you, and then I'm going to laugh, and that's what funny is.
Right. That is what
And so we got conditioned into thinking all these things that we don't want is funny.
Yeah.
And then getting exactly what we want. People say, I want to have fun. Your wish is my command. Yeah. You want trickery and deceit. And that's what we've gotten. And so when we recognize even that can be an addiction, recognizing it and then being able to, this is where the meditations and the being mindful and the dedication that we were talking about in the very beginning comes back in of these are the practices that we are encountering to be those shifts. And so bringing it back to Halloween, right? If you're dressing up, then dress up as an angel, dress up as a wizard, dress up.
Something that you want to experience.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And then have recognition, and however old, if there's kids participating, they are, and they can understand that there's a non-physical world that exists at the same time. And this night is the thinnest of that veil.
I wanted you to expand on that a little bit, right? I understand what that means, but for someone who's saying the thinnest veil, can you just a little bit, because I know that can go really big, but
sure,
just a little touch on what does the thinnest veil mean for humanity and for humans in general, like, at that time?
Sure. So there are different layers of existence. There's many names for them. They can actually coordinate too with the chakras in their bodies. We're multi-dimensional beings. And so to keep it as simple as I'm going to try, let's say there's 7 layers.
I know.
I saw your face. You're like, oh gosh. Like,
no, I know. It's hard to keep sometimes things simple. So just go ahead.
I'm gonna try.
Yeah.
Let me go with this, and I'm gonna try. Let's say there's 7 layers of existence, and it's like a pyramid. And at the bottom of the pyramid, it's very long. So that means things are going to be like more solid, put together, and it's going to take longer to get from side to side. And then there's a layer up above that, right? And so remember, it's a pyramid, so eventually it's going to come to one point. And essentially at that peak, that is God, that is creation, that is the Big Bang, that is 0 point, that is the all and the nothing. Okay? And things manifest like that because there's no space from side to side. As we come down the pyramid, and that's level 0, and as we come down the pyramid, we're moving through levels. But it takes longer from side to side, the lower in the level you get. But the more solid in creation, that gets when you get at the bottom. Is this good? Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And so, but there are layers, there's steps like a staircase. When you move into one density of that pyramid of existence, and we'll just keep it at 7 layers. And so then within that, there's many layers. So when someone is in the physical, they're more at the bottom of the pyramid. There's no judgment. Everybody wants to be at all the layers of the pyramid. Right? There's trillions of soul energies waiting to get on Earth. It's a
hot.
Down here's hot. Awesome.
Yeah.
And so when one no longer exists within the physical plane, sometimes we call that death, but that's a misconception.
Right.
And so, but when one no longer exists in the physical and goes into this non-physical plane, well, one, they have more options because they can see more. They're higher on the pyramid. It gives them more of a perspective.
Yeah.
And they have options to places that don't require a denseness and a physicality, which denseness and physicality, this is part of when you think of the Merkaba, the 2 triangles.
Yeah.
I was using the triangle as an example. There's also an upside down one. And so there's not as much physical in choices as there is non-physical, we'll say, in a way.
Yeah.
And so that is why when things are on the other side of the veil, they can be, let's say, much more benevolent or much more scary and evil. And well, they all also want into this dense experience, very much so.
Yeah.
And so the thing is, so there's a veil between that physical and non-physical world. And that veil is that layer in the pyramid from layer 7 to 6. And what's happening is us gods, the humans, the real humans, there's many clones that walk around us. They are not human.
Let's not get started. Yes, go ahead.
Okay. And so the humans, which you can feel now, right? You feel it. They feel dead because they're not human. They're not, there's not a soul there.
For sure. Yeah.
But the souls, but they influence us. And that's the thing to be mindful of. That is where their power has been, is in their influence over us. And those that have soul. And so how I feel is going to be what's going to create that. How you feel is going to be what's going to create whatever we're wanting to create.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's so when we're pretending to be some monster, when the veil is really thin between these worlds, we are creating that.
Oh.
And it's an energy that you can't see in the physical. So now what happens, you pull through and give permission for that energy. I'll touch on something that maybe a lot of people, well, it's shifting, but a lot of people in the past haven't liked hearing this. Alcohol. Alcohol brings in demons. It's called spirits. And
That's a powerful time. That's why the witches said too. That's a powerful time. Why they do magic and all this different
At the
things.
witching hour.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I love the way you explained that. I got that.
Yeah.
I hope you guys got something from that too.
Yeah.
Trying to see if we have any questions. A lot of people saying they love this. They're happy to see you on here. And someone said their thing is frozen. Well, I think that's really great right there. If anybody has more question, I think your meeting, you said on what day, if you can put the link, well, actually you could just tag his name. It's on his page. You said the link to find that you're having the online event, and it'll go a little bit more into all of that too. I'm sure you're going to go into that more. And you have different, you said an itinerary kind of planned out for that day as well, right? Other people could.
Yes, I do. They can, I may add something people can do on their own if they don't want to join. I don't have that on there yet. So
Okay.
I think verbally, this is the most I've talked about it.
Okay.
But on the page, it'll have the details once you click on the link to the website of like what's going to be going on.
Yeah. I was going to say you can
Basically.
find it in the comments, but guys, it's in my bio. Actually, that was the very first place I had a bio put up, was on Energy is Everything. We hooked up together that time on the group, remember? That's how, and we were working together. So if you want to know more, you can click on his name and he'll have all the information. I think that's the easiest way. And if you're still confused, you can look at my bio at Everything is Everything is Energy, and you'll be able to find it through that as well. There's so much good information on there. I want to encourage you to just go through the website itself. You'll see different pictures and kind of find out a little bit more about where they're coming from. And I say they because it's Casey, Zach, and Gage together on this beautiful experience. And if you guys want to take a part of it, you know where to find them. Thank you so much for coming on. This was a beautiful, spontaneous day.
Yes, beautiful. Much love to you.
I love you. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye.
All right, bye. All right, you guys, thank you so much. Sometimes I hear good news, and there's a fan blowing above me that's making my eyes a little watery here. But thank you so much for joining me on this spontaneous meeting we had. It was not a planned live. I didn't have any flyers. Like I said, Gage is my soul, I want to say brother, friend, everything. We loved each other from the moment we seen our post and we're connected. I want to encourage you to check out his page, check out the website. The little bit of information we got here was super powerful enough, so I can't imagine on I think it's on the 31st, he said the information that would be shared there also. So I love you guys. Stay tuned later. I don't know what's going on. I wasn't able to go live on my page, so I went here on Prudence Kalu, but I'm supposed to be going live on All Things Possible later at 6:30 with Ronnie, and then at 8:30 with two beautiful women. We're talking about sexual energy. Join us later. I love you guys.